Falling Skies is takes place 6 months after aliens have invaded Earth, and we find out that they're hostile.
Those few remaining survivors have to sort of bind together and become not just a survivalist group, but also a bit of a resistance force to the aliens.
You start with Noah Wiley's character, who plays a English professor who loses his wife and has 3 sons. And Noah and I meet. I'm a pediatrician, and I lost my son and my husband.
I play a guy named Tom Mason, who was a tenured history professor at Boston University, who is the father of 3. And the show begins with us living in a sort of a makeshift refugee camp where all these civilians are suddenly, for the first time, being asked to take on kind of a military role. And my guy, who's always been an academic, is being asked to step up and take much more of a leadership role.
But it's really the journey between a community of people and a certain sector of resistance group, if you will, and what our journey is to surviving and how we learn how to fight the aliens and why they're being hostile and why they are targeting young kids and putting this thing called a harness on their back to control them. So it's got a great hybrid of science fiction and drama.
Great script by Robert Rodat, who penned Saving Private Ryan with Mr. Steven Spielberg. So this was a collaboration that had a great pedigree to it, and I've got a long-standing relationship with TNT, having made 3 Librarian movies and 1 other movie with them. I think Michael Wright is top-notch executive, so I was excited at the chance of working with him again. And the short, truncated cable schedule seems totally palatable after 13 years of doing 22 a year, so it has seemed like it would offer me a kind of good quality of life at the same time of having gainful, engaging employment, and it worked out.
It was really a real choice on my part to pick a role where I didn't have to have action sequences in, my character, because I've done that and I thoroughly enjoy it. But I think there was some part of me that wanted to just try something different and get to portray someone who is, more cerebral and not so physical and not so much that sexy, girl that holds a gun, which is fun. But I liked that I got to play a doctor and something a little bit more, or just different.
This was a whole learning curve for me because, like I said, the sci-fi world is a bit foreign to me. So getting to work with guys like Mark Verheiden, who comes from Battlestar Galactica and has made a career in comic books and science fiction, you really see the level of specificity that they bring to their storytelling. And it has to be airtight because those audiences are the ones that are literally watching it frame by frame and saying, J'accuse, that's a weak link in your chain. So we were all incredibly diligent about making sure we were keeping on the right track.